Hey guys, I hope everybody is having a fantastic day today. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I am glad you are here. If you get the chance and you're so inclined, please hit that subscribe button for me. If you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon, it'll notify you when I go live on live streams, when I release new content, and most importantly, it'll help YouTube know that you're a human that's actually engaged with EDC content and hopefully help my videos spread out to more people. This is going to be another kind of in a series of knives that my best friend who lives locally in the knife game, A to Z E to C, right here. I would follow him on Instagram if you're not already. But A to Z EDC is a local buddy who kind of always liked knives like I did. And around the time, about a month after I got into collecting knives, I'd go over to his house and I'd show him what I got, and it sparked something in him. So he'll deny that I brought him into the knife community, but I feel like him outdoing me because he can, and hard flexing on me, I'm just kidding, was a good way for him to get in the game. And let me tell you something, his game is strong. He has some fantastic specimens in his collection, and he's been nice enough to let me handle a few, hold on to a few for a week and use them. I brought the Evo 3.0 Custom Knife Factory Rotten Designs that I would not have been able to share with you guys if it had not been for A to Z EDC. And then with this beautiful Koenig Arius Flipperless with the Damascus clip, bleh, or Moku tie, I don't know which. I think the clip's Damascus, who knows though. But anyway, what we've got here, guys, is an absolute gorgeous American made in Boise, Idaho by Bill Koenig and his company, the Koenig Arius. I've handled this knife when A to Z got it. I thought it was great. I handled it at Blade Show with the flipper. I thought it was great. I still prefer the non-flipper. But I can tell you that there's something, and I'm sure all y'all agree with me, but there's something about living with a knife, carrying a knife, being able to really have time to experience a knife that can absolutely change your desire to own said knife, which was one of the things I was worried about. Because if you watched my Evo 3.0 overview after hanging out with it for a while, I decided that it was officially going to have a spot on my grail list and be something that I saved for and planned around. And the scariest part of that is I knew I would not be able to get an Evo. Didn't think I would be, not for table price at Blade Show. But I know if I work my ass off and I bring a bunch of cash, I might be able to walk away with an Arius. And that makes me nervous because I'm really not ready to take the plunge yet. But guys, this knife is a work of refinement, of ergonomic excellence, of blade badassery, of just functional modern art. I don't even know where to start on this knife, but I think I'm going to start with the titanium handles. So this knife, to me, it's very subjective, looks beautiful closed. The only markings you have on the knife are the small Koenig right there under the fuller. You've got this little fuller here towards the back end of the blade. You've got these titanium handles that are micro milled in different directions, which give it just a really nice look. And then you've got these smooth areas, titanium jimping where the lock bar is. You've got titanium hardware, T8 and T6s, I believe. Whoops. My bit's gone. I'm sorry, guys. I need to be able to tell y'all what we got there. That is a T8. A T6. So there's T8s, guys. They're not T6s. Let me find my other T8 bit. And the pivot might be a T10. All right. T8, 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 T8. They just looked a little smaller. So it's all T8 hardware. Bundabar. And the only thing that I can even say as a perceived negative, and it's not a negative, and I don't want to offend one of my best brothers in the community, Brother Beard of Doom, but I'm not super crazy about the way this backspacer lanyard's done. But when I look at the way that it's mounted here with these two body screws, it makes me wonder if Bill Koenig, or if Koenig, like Hinder with his modular backspace system, if he's ever offered like a replacement backspacer with a lanyard tube that was a little different for people who didn't want doodads, right? So I just wonder about that. Y'all are probably like, John, if you knew anything about Koenig, you'd know that. And I don't know anything about Koenig, guys. I just know that I have bumped into a knife that is of pretty simple construction, but it's done very, very well, and it's just a joy. So now let's talk about the blade, the monkey in the room, the thing that I think is gorgeous. You've got this tall satin grind, hollow grind, that is super, super deep and slicey, and we'll cut a coupon in a second. You've got this wonderful finger choil that allows you to jump up on this blade, use it in many different grips. You can even use it in pull grips. I mean, you can use this knife, and I would say you could hard use this knife. It locks up at about 30%. Just perfect. I'm going to have to grab the coupon book. This is an M390 blade. I might have just said that. Deep hollow grind. Tall blade. About 3/4 hollow. That was a cutter error. Nice and toothy. Wunderbar. Guys, I have always been, not to be polarizing, but I like American manufacturers. I have and own Spyderco's, which I love. I have and I own Hinders, which I love. I have and I own TRMs, which I love, and who, by the way, are my favorite USA manufacturer. I have Hogues that I love. I have some Ritter Hogues that I love. One of my most sentimental knives, which I need to answer that open tag, thinking out loud. I have Medford knives that I love, the knives very much. I have never experienced, I've held an Oz Machine Company, Roosevelt, Rosie, when I was in Atlanta. I checked them out, and I did not spend a day, a week, or even a few hours with it, so I can't be honest. I can be honest, but I can't be equally had a chance to carry it in my own privacy and really come to appreciate it, right? So I'm not taking anything away from the Rosie. I've just not had it in my possession long enough to make a true judgment to see if it would make it to my grail list. But guys, this knife here, the Koenig Arius, checks every single box for me, especially in this flipperless model. It's a little bit larger than a knife I would carry on every day. However, this knife I would gladly carry on every day. The blade is 3.5 inches. The handle is 5 inches. The rear handle is 4.5. From the front choil, you've got a whopping 5.5 inches. The knife is very low profile and rounded at right under 1/2 inch. So you've got these contoured titanium scales. There is no movement in the blade from side to side. There is no play in the blade from up to down. It is absolutely on a hydraulic drop shut action. It kind of locks you up on the thumb flick. I can thumb flick it, but to me, it's not as pleasurable. And trick, guys, when I thumb flick, I use kind of both my fingers. I'll take my pointer finger just to take some pressure off the lock bar and loop it in there. I know that's kind of cheating, but it doesn't matter because you'll never catch me thumb flicking unless I'm asked to. Guys, that's the Koenig Arius. I could sit here, flick it. I could ramble about it. I could talk about how it makes me feel. It makes me feel like I really wish I had one. It made me feel like it would be a great knife to have in the collection. It makes me feel like I need to do a better job managing my funds and not buying as many knives. It's tough, right? I mean, I look at knives for the channel, knives that I know y'all are going to be interested in, and I could buy 10 to 15 to 3 or 4 really nice knives, or bring one of these in. And I'm not doing it for content. That's not the point. The point is I'm doing it for my collection. But the other side of that is you guys are the reason I started a channel. So I definitely want to bring knives that if I was watching, as I am every day, watching other people's channels and trying to consume content when I can, it's a lot harder to do now. I can catch the lives, but I want to be able to provide somebody the help and the comfort to buy a knife like Lefty, like Jared, like Stevie, like Matisfaction, like everybody that I've watched, Grateful Panic, have put forth ideas that made me think, you know, that knife's going to be something I'm going to try. And I know a lot of people aren't going to be able to try the Koenig Arius. I'm not going to be able to try the Koenig Arius unless I really plan for it. And then you have to think, is this knife, if I could get it at table price, worth $2 Henders? And guys, I'm here to tell you, and or say insert knife here. I'm here to tell you, to me, it is. This knife would be worth trading a couple of really nice knives out of my collection, or finding one if it came in the right variation. I'd like the plain tie, or the darker tie that's not blue. However, I love the blue. I take it in hot pink. But guys, the Koenig Arius, it's a winner. I was talking to A to Z EDC earlier before I did the review and told him how I fallen in love with the Evo. I'm recording this video the next day. But I asked him, if you had only one to choose, which would you choose? And he immediately went to the way this one goes in pocket, which this knife goes in and out of pocket fantastically well. It doesn't take up a lot of space. That clip works like a dream. However, that's not what my mind went to with the Evo, because I put the Evo in my pocket, and yeah, it took a little work. But if I had one to choose, me, and I'm an American knife, checking all the boxes, this knife does it, ergos, blade, made in America. Guys, something about the Evo has seduced me because of its just unapologetic sexiness. So I'm weak. I hope that changes because I can't buy both. And I have a feeling I'll have an opportunity to buy this one first, but I don't need to buy anything this year, really, to be honest with you, of this caliber. I need to plan for it a little better. But guys, I want you to do me a few favors. Go out and check out A to Z EDC on Instagram. Again, great posts, great knife collection. His photo quality is not all that of the best like Lord Needham or like Tri-State, but his content, which is what I look for, what I'm going to be exposed to, is stunning. So check him out. Please subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you following the channel. I promise I'll keep putting out content. I'd love to have you hit the bell notification icon. But most importantly, please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate over hate. I love you all. Peace.